hidden danger in the water. In Taiwan, a frantic search for victims of an earthquake that literally knocked buildings off their foundations. A new kind of worker pension is under attack on Capitol Hill. And school security. One school expels a student for misbehavior in what he thought was the privacy of his own home.
This is the CBS Evening News. With Dan Rather reporting from CBS News headquarters in New York.
Good evening. And the rains came again to all the wrong places in the eastern United States. There was rain on top of flood, on top of misery, and now the threat of disease. Almost a week after Hurricane Floyd, more than 1,000 people are still missing in the Carolinas and Virginia. They're not necessarily dead or injured, but simply not accounted for. It's an astonishing figure. This, as the latest Atlantic hurricane, the latest tropical storm, and associated rain raised the toll of misery. Tropical storm Harvey veered south from the Gulf of Mexico and dumped torrential rain almost a foot deep in some places as it sliced across the tip of South Florida to the Atlantic. In part, this drove a post-Hurricane Floyd threat of more rain today up the Atlantic coast from the Carolinas and Virginia through Pennsylvania, New Jersey, and north of New York City. As Floyd-related deaths neared 70, it appeared the worst may not be over, yet at least not in North Carolina. Receding waters revealed more bodies. CBS's Byron Pitts is there in the thick of it.
It's been 6 days.
You hanging in there?
Yeah, we're hanging in there.
6 days without much sleep or supplies.
We have no food. We have just what we have in our cupboards.
Here in eastern North Carolina, the floodwaters may be receding, but exhaustion and despair keep rising.
Good morning, ma'am. How you doing?
Good, how you doing?
At least 1,600 families have lost everything they own. $1 billion in crops, entire neighborhoods gone, all buried beneath the worst natural disaster in state history.
Well, when we're here, we try to be cheerful, and we try to be upbeat and encouraging. And when we go back to our tents and our cots at night, some of us cry.
Off camera, some rescue teams have said the same. Though the official death count is 35, some of these men say they've seen even more. They've come across bodies floating in the river. In some cases, the current was so strong, all they could do was tie them to trees until the waters recede even further. It's estimated the floodwaters have receded about 4 feet in the past 24 hours. Down, but still dangerous. This is the Tar River that normally flows about 20 feet below this bridge. So it's still up to the Coast Guard and the National Guard to reach residents stranded in their homes.
Just trying to save whoever we can, get them to safety.
This afternoon they found Joe Kopic. He hadn't eaten since yesterday. So what made you leave?
Food and going crazy in the house by myself and water.
It is the muddy, contaminated floodwaters from Hurricane Floyd that have reshaped riverbeds and shattered lives. State officials say it will be at least a week before some people will be allowed to return to their homes, if they can find them. Byron Pitts, CBS News, Tarboro, North Carolina.
For clarification on the death toll, 35 in North Carolina, 70 overall known dead from the hurricane. The flood disaster in the Carolinas and elsewhere extends beyond deep water. In the days ahead, the deepest threat could be flood-related diseases. CBS's Bob Orr is tracking this part of the story.
The water is destructive, but what's in it may be more dangerous. Much of the Atlantic seaboard is still swamped with stagnating floodwaters that carry a putrid mix of animal waste, sewage, and in some places harmful chemicals. North Carolina is ground zero, where hundreds of thousands of hogs, turkeys, and chickens were killed by Hurricane Floyd. Farmers like Samuel Hardy are left with rotting carcasses.
I can't bear them. I got to wait till the water go out. And they float to the house and float back. Float to the house and float back. So we just deal with it the best we can.
But health officials warn the dead livestock and poultry pose a grave threat.
We mainly worry about bacterial illnesses like E. coli, but there are also parasitic diseases that can live in water and can contaminate water.
Treatment plants like this one along the Tar River in North Carolina have been overrun by toxic water. And in dozens of towns, floods have swallowed up gas stations and industrial plants. In Franklin, Virginia, oil slicks are clearly visible on the Blackwater River.
Boil this for 3 minutes just to make sure.
From South Carolina to New York, an undetermined number of water supplies have been contaminated. In New Jersey alone, more than 200,000 people are still without water. And the health threat is not limited to drinking water. Floods are breeding pools for flies and mosquitoes that can spread diseases like encephalitis.
We'll be looking at the mosquito situation in the next week or so as to whether spraying is going to be necessary. We anticipated that it will be.
But worst of all, the health risk will linger. The heavy cleanup will have to wait until the rains stop and the waters recede. Bob Orr, CBS News, Washington.
Also on our CBS Weather Watch, a turn of good luck today in Bermuda. Hurricane Gert took a turn to the northeast and back out to sea. It spared Bermuda the worst of its 110-mile-an-hour winds and heavy rains. Taiwan is still reeling from the earthquake that struck last night. The official death toll is just over 1,700, but thousands more may be trapped in the rubble. Most of the buildings that collapsed were new high-rises in an area that's been rapidly developed in recent years, often with shoddy construction. At least 4,000 people have been injured and 100,000 left homeless. The quake was centered 90 miles south of Taipei, near the central city of Taichung. CBS's Barry Peterson is there.
A stunned and shocked Taiwan began digging out from its worst earthquake in half a century, buckling roads and knocking high-rise buildings off their foundations. The epicenter was in the mountainous heart of the country, where it was also hardest to get in equipment and rescuers. Life and death were decided in that instant the ground shook, the dazed survivors left to wander amid the debris, or mourn amid the frantic efforts to save the living. This is one of the main hospitals in Taichung where the first casualties were brought. This is actually the hospital's lobby, but it's been turned into a makeshift ward. Those who got here quickly stood the best chance of survival. As the day went on, the death toll began to grow. Surviving did not end the pain. This woman was terrified there will be another earthquake. It's over, the nurse kept saying, but the woman could not accept it. The emergency room was bed upon bed of sorrow. None so much as 2-year-old Jolene, father killed instantly, mother buried in the rubble of their home and now given up for dead. Dr. Hong Jinshen worries not about the wounds he can fix, but the psychological trauma of being a loved child yesterday, an orphan today.
I think it should be in his mind. It will affect him in the future.
All of his life?
Yes.
Behind the hospital, the sound of Buddhist chants in front of a makeshift tent morgue, even as more bodies came in. The living doing the only thing they now could for the dead, wishing them a safe journey to heaven. Barry Peterson, CBS News, Taichung, Taiwan.
Still ahead on the CBS Evening News, the Dow has one of the worst days of the year. We'll analyze why. Congress hears complaints about those new so-called cash balance pension plans and Republican attacks on the high costs of President Clinton's roadshow.
When you buy a bargain basement PC, what you're really buying is a mystery box. Will there be a monitor? Probably not. A color printer? Ha! A year on the internet, 24/7 tech support? Dream on. With a Gateway Essential PC, you know exactly what you're getting. Monitor, Intel Celeron processor, award-winning tech support, and a color printer for $29 a month. No mystery there. Call now and make no payments until 2000.
I need strong arthritis relief. I want soft skin. Now I get both.
Introducing new Arthricare hand and body lotion. Fast relief of minor arthritis pain plus special skin softeners. Arthricare lotion. Pain relief plus moisturizers.
All in one.
Enterprise rent-a-car for my trip? Looks expensive.
It's not expensive, Mom.
They pick us up? Sounds expensive.
Pickup's free, Mom.
Well, if it's not expensive, why didn't I get a convertible?
Pick Enterprise. We'll pick you up.
Sundown Herbals presents its remarkable Twist and Learn label. It works like an herbal information center that helps you learn about herbs simply by turning the label. Sundown's new Twist and Learn label, where to turn for help.
Sis, I snooped in your medicine cabinet.
So?
You switched to X-Lax.
Yeah, Correctol works with an artificial chemical. X-Lax works with natural senna.
Very effectively, too.
You tried it.
What a find.
What a snoop.
Good morning, guaranteed.
The bears came out on Wall Street today. Stock prices fell sharply. The Dow Jones Industrial Average down 225 points. The NASDAQ off by 65. CBS News business correspondent Anthony Mason is here with a look at what's possibly behind this sharp decline. Anthony?
Dan, it was the Dow's third biggest point drop of the year. There was plenty of blame to go around, but let's begin in Japan.
With the Japanese economy beginning to recover, the yen has been gaining against the dollar, and many Japanese investors who parked their money here during their recession are now taking it home.
Money that Japanese investors had placed in our market is going back to Japan. And if the dollar continues to weaken against the yen, this will continue.
A record trade deficit in July, $25 billion in red ink, meant still more money was leaving the country. Wall Street also felt the tremors from Taiwan, where many American technology companies have factories. The earthquake there will disrupt their supply systems. Apple Computer was hit by its own earthquake today. After warning of production problems and weak earnings, the stock dropped $9 or 12%.
But the weak dollar is the biggest worry. That hikes the cost of imported goods, lifting inflationary pressures, and raising concerns that at the Fed meeting in 2 weeks, Chairman Greenspan might just raise interest rates again. Dan?
Anthony Mason, thanks. At the United Nations today, President Clinton said the world needs to move faster to stop genocide and ethnic cleansing in places like Rwanda, East Timor, and Kosovo. The president echoed a call by UN Secretary General Kofi Annan saying, quote, "We need international forces with the training to fill the gap between local police and military peacekeepers." But President Clinton added the United States cannot respond to every humanitarian catastrophe in the world. He said, quote, "We cannot do everything everywhere," end quote. An update now on last night's report by CBS's Bob Orr about school bus safety. The National Transportation Safety Board today recommended against seat belts in school buses. In new crash tests, the seat belts, in some cases, it is said, increase the risk of pelvic and head injuries. The National Transportation Safety Board did call today for higher, more flexible seat backs to improve cushioning protection against crashes. Now ahead on the CBS Evening News, Congress hears the call for a crackdown on cash balance pension plans.
That makes a corporation.
Tylenol House Call. Information for healthy living.
Watching Wayne Gretzky, you'd never know the great one could have common arthritis.
When my doctor told me that my aches and pains could be the early signs of arthritis, I was really surprised.
It's not unusual. Millions of Americans under 50 have arthritis. Millions more are at risk. What should you look for? Risk factors include an active occupation, past injury, family history, age, and weight. Early signs of common arthritis include joint pain and stiffness.
Well, what do you do for your arthritis pain?
I take Tylenol.
The first choice of doctors for arthritis pain is the medicine and Tylenol Arthritis Extended Relief. Tylenol works as well as the leading arthritis prescription, but it's much gentler on your stomach. So, Wayne, how does it feel to be retired?
Pretty good. These days, it's fun to be knocked around.
Could your pain and stiffness be the early signs of common arthritis? Talk to your doctor, like Wayne Gretzky did.
Tylenol House Call is brought to you by Tylenol Arthritis.
Love at first sight. What's that based on? Have you ever looked at someone and said, check her out, she looks loyal? Or, whoa, look at the morals on that guy. No, love at first sight is based on something else. Sight. Introducing the all-new 2000 Mitsubishi Eclipse, nicely equipped at 17.7. You'll even love what's on the inside.
Little baby sister, the morning is new, and I'd like to show you what Rice Krispies can do. Snap, crackle, pop, wake up, call to the world. Here's my favorite sound. Do you like what you've heard? Someday you'll talk too.
Kellogg's Rice Krispies cereal.
Snap, crackle, pop, wake up, call to the world.
The hot debate over pension plans landed on Capitol Hill today. Longtime corporate employees told Congress the new so-called cash balance plans are unfair to older workers. CBS News Chief Washington correspondent Bob Schieffer covered the hearings.
From IBM to Hershey to Hertz and CBS, hundreds of big businesses are dropping traditional pension plans for so-called cash balance accounts, under which companies simply set aside a specific percentage of a worker's pay each year for retirement. IBM workers united in opposition when their plan was changed, and when they went to court to block it, IBM backed off a little. But today, the workers crowded into the Capitol to give Congress an earful.
Most employees haven't a clue what their rights are.
Since old-style pensions were usually tied to salary, workers like Kruger planned on earning the bulk of their pensions during later years, when they were making top wages. Thus, they argued the new plan will mean less money for senior workers. IBM executives countered they had little choice in the increasingly competitive marketplace.
And we don't have enough money to go around and give everybody everything that everybody wants.
A congressman wondered why a top IBM executive didn't consider that when he negotiated his own retirement plan.
Pensions. He negotiated for himself a $1 million a year pension plan when he retires. Very concerned about the issue.
Congress is considering several remedies, such as requiring companies to give workers more information and more pension choices. And Vermont's Leahy wants an immediate crackdown before
hundreds of thousands, even millions, of workers in this country really get screwed.
The problem is that Congress has put off so much of its other work until the last minute, it may have difficulty now just finding the time to write any meaningful remedies into law before adjournment. Dan?
Bob Schieffer, thanks. With Republicans in Congress pressing President Clinton for more aid to the country of Colombia, the president met at the UN today with Colombian President Pastrana, who's here to try to convince U.S. leaders to make a massive new investment in Colombia. Colombia's president asked for more American help and denied that his government is losing the battle against narco-guerrillas. Coming up next, Eye on America tonight, should public schools be allowed to expel students for what they do off campus?
There are those among us with very simple tastes. They only want the best. And for them, there's Fancy Feast gourmet cat food. Exceptionally moist and delicious. Fancy Feast. Good taste is easy to recognize.
You've dreamed of opening your own place. Now stay healthy and energetic and enjoy it. Give your life a silver lining with Centrum Silver. Its age-essential nutrients may help maintain your immunity and help keep your heart healthy. Give your life a silver lining with Centrum Silver.
All right, kid. Here we go.
10-9. What do you got? What do you got?
Yeah. All right, come on, come on.
What would you do if someone you loved had a heart attack? Did you know it's now been proven that the same Bayer aspirin you have in your bag for muscle aches may actually help stop you from dying if you take it during a heart attack?
Downtown. Lucky shot.
Can your pain reliever do that? Talk to your doctor now.
Next time I'll go easier on you.
Bayer, powerful pain relief and so much more.
Now our first denture cleanser keeps dentures feeling clean all day. New Fixodent with ProGuard, a breakthrough tablet and bath system. First, place your dentures into the bath and release the power of ProGuard to get them 4 times cleaner. Then you lift the inner basket to help seal in the clean with the ProGuard barrier, protecting against plaque and odor-causing bacteria from morning till night. Fixodent with ProGuard. Start cleaner, stay cleaner.
We thought of them when we gave it a more powerful V8 than any top-selling Ford or Dodge pickup. We thought of them when we gave it a bigger extended cab than Ford F-150 or Dodge Ram. Maybe that's why Motor Trend thought of us. The new Chevy Silverado. It's the truck. The Motor Trend Truck of the Year.
It's a new school year, and Eye on America is looking at what schools are doing to protect their students after the string of recent deadly shootings. Tonight, CBS shows you the controversial way some schools are trying to weed out potential troublemakers. CBS's Wyatt Andrews reports what happened when one boy got caught engaging in risky business.
It was a Saturday night. Parents out of town, teenager at home.
You get the picture.
It was the first time my parents had ever gone out of town in my whole life, so it was just like something that had to be done, you know.
A party had to be thrown?
Yeah. So.
When Will Royal threw the party that night, neighbors called police, and when the cops arrived, they correctly suspected drugs.
They found a bag of, like, about an ounce of marijuana. And
Will knew he was in trouble at home. What he did not know is what he faced at school. By Tuesday, just 3 days after the drug bust, the police had informed the principal here at Madison High School in Fairfax County, Virginia. Will was suspended that day and later expelled.
Were you surprised it was that fast?
I was surprised altogether. I didn't expect them to be able to do anything like that.
But they could. Under what some states call exclusion, Will was expelled because of, quote, reported unlawful acts. That stunned Will's parents, Bill and Patty, because as mad as they were at their son, Will had not yet faced trial. And the Royals were asking, who made the school system judge and jury?
I think it's unfair because there's no due process here. The job of the schools is to educate. It's not to be a parent. It's not taking over my job. It's my job to punish the kid and get him help, which we did.
But the notion that school and home is what's changing. In the era of Columbine, many states now demand that schools move quickly against student offenders. Some 15 states have now changed their juvenile privacy laws so that schools are told immediately when a student is charged with a violent or drug-related crime. In Virginia, those students can be expelled from school even if the crime occurred off school grounds and even if the student is never convicted of the crime.
We always have to act in terms of the larger good.
Daniel Dominich, the superintendent of Fairfax Schools, says his system excluded 67 students like Will Royal last year. And all of them, he says, had a pattern, not one offense, a pattern of misbehavior. He defends exclusion as a way to protect the law-abiding students.
I can tell you that there are cases among those 67 that made us glad that we took the action that we took and excluded that youngster from the school environment, knowing what we knew.
Examples, please. Examples.
Well, possession of weapons, for one, drugs.
An irony here is that the Royals admit Will was guilty and that his expulsion was a powerful wake-up call. But remember, they say, the schools will also have this power in cases where the police are wrong.
This did not happen on their watch. It happened on our watch, and I didn't think that they had the right to make a decision for my child.
The schools now argue they do. Administrators fighting drugs, weapons, and school violence today don't think they have the luxury of waiting for a fair trial. In Fairfax County, Virginia, Wyatt Andrews for Eye on America.
Next on the CBS Evening News, the money trail for travel. Republicans in Congress are following the mounting mileage in dollars for the president's trips overseas. Should anybody care?
I will pursue greater growth opportunities to reach my goals.
Historically, being aggressive has made sense. Despite 9 recessions since World War II, the market's up 71-fold because earnings are up 58-fold. Earnings drive the market.
The Fidelity Aggressive Growth Fund seeks companies with accelerated earnings or revenue growth potential. See what Fidelity Money Management Excellence can do for you. Get the Fact Kit today. Call 1-800-FIDELITY or visit fidelity.com.
No, this isn't a jeans commercial. It's about constipation. You're bloated, not yourself. If you're size 10s, feel like 2s.
FiberCon has natural fiber action to relieve bloating constipation.
I'm myself again.
FiberCon. Be regular. Be yourself.
Ask your doctor about Viagra.
I know you've all heard the testimonials and you're saying, yes, Gene, by unleashing the power of visualization, I can change my life. But what, Gene? What can I visualize to become a leader? A giant among my peers, while achieving a sense of inner calm. Close your eyes and picture yourself as this.
Accord from Honda. It's one powerful car.
Aren't there enough reasons in your life to talk to your doctor about Zocor? To learn more about Zocor, ask your doctor. Zocor, be there.
Republican presidential hopeful George W. Bush has now raised officially more than $52 million. He's the first ever to break the $50 million barrier. No presidential candidate has ever had that much to spend directly, even counting federal matching funds. News of money in politics tonight on another front. Republicans are keeping tabs on and are increasingly critical of the cost of presidential travel. So what, if anything, does this mean to you? CBS News Chief White House correspondent John Roberts is traveling with the president and has the details.
Standing before the United Nations today, President Clinton could claim what no other president before him could, that he has visited 59 countries, making him the most traveled president in history. But for the first time, we have learned how much that global diplomacy is costing the American public.
The cost of the president's trips to Africa, China, and Chile in 1998 cost the taxpayers a total of $72.1 million.
The figures are from a new General Accounting Office report commissioned by Republican senators. The most expensive of the three trips, the six-country swing through Africa, $42.8 million.
The trip to Africa included 1,300 travelers.
The bulk of the cost was borne by the Defense Department's military readiness budget. Ironic, say senators, given reports that the Air Force ran out of bombs in the conflict over Kosovo.
The amount of money on these three trips would have acquired 3,000 smart bombs.
The president contends that these trips may one day reduce the need for bombs by promoting peace and prosperity. And aides say taking the leader of the free world around it is inherently expensive.
We are the lone remaining superpower in the world. The president needs the ability to handle any crisis, anytime, anywhere. That comes at a cost.
With 15 months left in his term, the globe-trotting president is showing no signs of slowing down. Greece, Turkey, and Italy are already on the schedule, with India, Pakistan, and a return trip to Africa possible. The president may even visit Vietnam. John Roberts, CBS News, New York. And that's part of our world tonight. I'll be back later here on CBS to take you with the Copus Commandos inside Colombia on the premiere of 60 Minutes 2. They are America's secret warriors, trained by the U.S. to fight a war the public never knew about. For the first time, we take you inside this elite army and show you why their war may be about to widen. And can a retarded couple raise a healthy child? Mike Wallace finds the remarkable answer in a 60 Minutes classic. 60 Minutes 2, tonight at 9, 8 Central Time here on CBS. For the CBS Evening News, Dan Rather reporting. I'll see you again soon with the Copus Commandos on 60 Minutes 2.
For news 24 hours a day, CBS.com on the Internet and on our interactive partner, America Online, at keyword CBS News.
When Dr. Sutton came to work the day of the L.A. Community Center shooting, he didn't know he'd be facing his greatest test.
This kid took a couple of rounds. First thing I noticed was that he seemed lifeless.
Fighting the odds to save a child, making a difference, and living the American dream. A new series premiering Wednesday on the CBS Evening News with Dan Rather.
Dolly Parton, the Queen of Country, and We've Got Her tomorrow on This Morning. CBS News.